Represent who you is.
Yo, I miss playing both skiddy where the sun litty. We stay busy, get the color, then we shoot a viddy. I drop the window, see trouble, can I get the digi? The clacking waves give me bad eye, I love my city. That one there can only be made this alone. The Lord took his time with you, you not gemstone. You survived everything they gave you, you my backbone. Now together we gon' put this land that we love on. When Chunko Lily meet find Timney on that Kabalapa, I came a beast rapping over heads like cold barbers. If need be, I'll buy Buddha once again for ya. Think I spotted the 21st century invader. That storyteller campfire pass me the granite. We used to sneak boy only can creep put on back. I still live mono, I keep kapua, they knock plazas. Salute to mothers who carried us forth and then on their backs. I pray the hunger never makes you sow your young daughters. Please don't sell land to foreigners that don't love us. Watch them build a bridge and be the ones to double cross us. I'm just a soldier with some call I hear forefathers. That's why I rap for Freetown. Love soon touchdown. You gold, you do count. Baby girl, don't frown. The lioness see the crown. Head up, turn around. Second, we exalt thee for greatness. We bound.
Where I'm from, I'm Badon. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. And we legit, we hella lit. Represent who you with. And where I'm from, I'm Badon. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. And we legit.
Had parents beating us cause they were hurting from loans. Let's just say I wasn't exactly golden boy in school. If you can't sit for hours learning, then you must be a fool. It's so apparent I don't fit the mold. Watching the bond of my sissy road. We can pretend the yellow shine is gold, especially when they think you have me sold. I know I'm still looking for love in all the wrong places. Snippets of hearing children playing you're it. I became so grounded from being grounded. Spit my life into this microphone for safekeeping. For all the teachers that don't hear our cry screaming, get out. Pardon my cliche, we're diamonds in the dirt beneath grey clouds. Working to become God of the game, so they bow. You fall once, you get up twice, make yourself proud. We grow balls and play where no ball games are allowed. Yeah, AK-16s, Alim. It's that post-traumatic slave syndrome. Had parents beating us cause they were hurting from loans. Let's just say I wasn't exactly
interviews with distinguished guests, community trailblazers, movers and shakers. UK 8 p.m, United States 3 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Sierra Leone. I'm your host, Mr. Melvin Metzger.
Represent who you is.
Yo, I miss playing both skiddy where the sun litty. We stay busy, get the color, then we shoot a viddy. I drop the window, see trouble, can I get the digi? The clacking waves give me bad eye, I love my city. That one there can only be made this alone. The Lord took his time with you, you not gemstone. You survived everything they gave you, you my backbone. Now together we gon' put this land that we love on. When Chunko Lily meet find Timney on that Kabalapa, I came a beast rapping over heads like cold barbers. If need be, I'll buy Buddha once again for ya. Think I spotted the 21st century invader. That storyteller campfire pass me the granite. We used to sneak boy only can creep put on back. I still live mono, I keep kapua, they knock plazas. Salute to mothers who carried us forth and then on their backs. I pray the hunger never makes you sow your young daughters. Please don't sell land to foreigners that don't love us. Watch them build a bridge and be the ones to double cross us. I'm just a soldier with some call I hear forefathers. That's why I rap for Freetown. Love soon touchdown. You gold, you do count. Baby girl, don't frown. The lioness see the crown. Head up, turn around. Second, we exalt thee for greatness. We bound.
Where I'm from, I'm Badon. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. And we legit, we hella lit. Represent who you with. Hit the city, then I'm gone. And we legit, we hella lit. Represent who you is.
Yo, I miss playing both skiddy skiddy where the sun litty. We stay busy, get the color, then we shoot a viddy. I drop the window, see trouble, can I get the digi? The cocking waist, give me body, I love my city. That one there can only be made this alone. The Lord took his time with you, you not gemstone. You survived everything they gave you, you my backbone. Now together we gon' put this land that we love on. When Chunk or Lily meet find Timney on that Kabalapa, out came a beast rapping over heads like cold barbers. If need be, I'll buy Buddha once again for ya. Think I spotted the 21st century invader. A storyteller campfire past me the granite. We used to sneak boy only can creep put her back. I still a mono aki kapua they knock plazas. Salute to mothers who carried us forth and then on their backs. I pray the hunger never makes you so your young daughters. Please don't sell land to foreigners that don't love us. Watch them build a bridge and be the ones to double cross us. I'm just a soldier with some call I hear forefathers. That's why I rep for Freetown. Love soon touchdown. You gold, you do count. Baby girl, don't frown. The lioness see the crown. Head up, turn around. Second, we exalt thee for greatness. We bound.
Where I'm from, I'm Badon. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. Hey, we legit, we hella lit. Represent who you with. Hey, where I'm from, I'm Badon. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. Hey, we legit.
Must be a fool. It's so apparent I don't fit the mold. Watching the bond of my sissy road. We can pretend the yellow shine is gold, especially when they think you have me sold. I know I'm still looking for love in all the wrong places. Snippets of hearing children playing you're it. I became so grounded from being grounded. Spit my life into this microphone for safekeeping. For all the teachers that don't hear our cry screaming, get out. Part of my cliche with diamonds in the dirt beneath grey clouds. Working to become god of the game, so they bow. You fall once, you get up twice, make yourself proud. We grow balls and play where no ball games are allowed.
Good evening, viewers. Thanks for joining us on this live broadcast. My name is Melvin Metzger, and I'm broadcasting live on AMAZE TV. I'm sorry about my voice, but the show must go on. Please like my show page. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend that the Melvin Metzger show is live. And we're broadcasting live on AMAZE TV. As always, I spotlight individuals, businesses, game changers, community champions, movers and shakers, and people that are making a difference to our community. Tonight, my guest is unique. He's a rapper, he's a storyteller, and he's a philanthropist. There's a lot more to come from this broadcast. Stay tuned as I bring you Mr. Alim Kamara. He's a British Sierra Leonean rapper, a storyteller, and a philanthropist. His storytelling has transported him to schools and arenas across the globe in many different countries of the world. He founded Story in 2016 and travels globally, working and educating in conjunction with corporate institutions to inspire through engaging storytelling workshops. Mr. Alim Kamara is live on the Melvin Metzger Show tonight. Mr. Alim Kamara, welcome to the Melvin Metzger Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, brother. I'm happy to have you. I thank you for coming on. I thank you for accepting this request. Right. How you doing, my brother? How you doing? How's it going?
I'm very well, man. I'm very well this evening, sir.
Okay,
yourself?
Great, man. First off, let's start by the most obvious question, Alim.
Yeah.
How did you get started in the music business? Was it like dancing around when your parents were playing music in the house, or it's just something that you thought you wanted to do?
I think it definitely started with dancing at parties, and at the time thinking that we were just the best Michael Jackson
Michael
impersonators.
Jackson.
Michael Jackson. We were doing the moves and he all of that. And now, back then we thought that our uncles and aunties were cheering us on, not knowing they were dying with laughter
Yes.
at our moves. But I think being able to see the difference and the joy that you can bring from entertaining, it really gives you a boost of confidence, because people could be having a bad time, and then
Yeah.
just by seeing you do what you do, you're able to change their emotions.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things that sparked it for me.
Okay, that's great. We all started like that, dancing in the living room. My mom would bring me when they have a party, and I would just dance and dance to some 70s disco music. Right, let's
That's
move on.
right.
Tell us a bit about your education was it in the UK or in Sierra Leone?
So I was born in the UK, and then I went
Okay.
to live back home in Sierra Leone when I was about 2, and then came back when I was about 8 o'clock.
Okay.
I say 8 o'clock here, Mama. I tell ya, I came back when I was about 8.
I thought
Um,
that's a new slang.
I say then a new one. I say 8 o'clock. What? I came back when I was about 8, and then um, I we used to go to school in the city because my mom
Okay.
worked at the High Commission.
Okay.
So from there, went to secondary school, went to college, and then when I went to college, I remember I chose business
Okay.
because I thought that's what you're supposed to do. Growing
Yeah.
up as an African child, I really loved entertainment, but I thought it's not really a career. At that time, you weren't made to feel like the arts was something to be great, something to be proud of.
Yeah.
And so I chose business. And then from there, when I went to university, I chose computing, electronics, mathematics to make things worse. Um, and it's not like anything's wrong with these subjects. It's just that they're not for me, or they
Yeah.
weren't for me. And eventually I managed to build up the courage
Yeah.
to drop out to drop out of college, of university. And then I changed course, and I
Hmm.
went and did another course
Yeah.
called creative and media writing, and that was what I
Okay.
graduated in. But even how I got onto the course
Yeah.
was by
By
submitting some of the work that I'd written at home.
okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great story. Um, you're a rapper and you're a storyteller. For me,
Hmm.
I find that a bit, you need to explain that. What's the difference between a rapper and a storyteller? I remember I called you a poet and you said, don't call me a poet, I'm a storyteller. Could you explain the difference between a rapper and a
So,
storyteller?
so they're all, it's almost like they're all one family.
Okay.
They all come from the same bloodline, but
Yeah.
there are slight differentiations with the titles
Yeah.
as they are used today in society, I
Hmm.
guess. The rapper is the music. The rapper is the hip hop. The rapper is the one who delivers rhythmical ability on beats, on songs, etc.
Hmm.
And the storyteller, for me, is the one who uses spoken word to take
Hmm.
people on a journey, who is influenced and inspired
Yeah.
by what people may know as the griots or the jellies or the
Okay.
jalebas.
Hmm.
Um, and then the poet, if you were to use the poet is simply the rapper without music,
Yeah.
so to speak. So it's also, again, poet tends to be affiliated more with a spoken word, but it's something that when I would rap my lyrics,
Yeah.
um, I, if I took the music off and delivered it as spoken word, people would then refer to me as, oh, you know, that poet who didn't perform na Brixton. Um, and so that's how sometimes the title poet is tends to be flung into what I do. But hey, if as long as the art is loved, respected,
Yes.
appreciated, that's the most important thing.
Okay. Like storytelling is a constant in your life. You used to listen to lots of stories from the forefathers and the foremothers. How did that prepare you for what you're doing now?
Um, to be honest, like when I came back to London, I forgot about it, bro. I really, it's like who that who storyteller within yeah. Like there were no storytellers anymore. You know what we came into contact with was TV became our storyteller.
Yeah.
You know, so that human connection, I guess we were now watching inside a small box. But it was when I did my third year in university that my lecturer suggested to me that I go and do a storytelling module.
Yeah.
And when I went to go and do the module, that's when it's like it's like there was a resurrection, there was a rebirth
Yeah.
inside of me, and the memories of my childhood started
Childhood.
coming
Yeah.
back. And I remember I started, telling about two stories that I had for about a year, but the bookings just kept on coming and coming and coming.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, well, so I better go find more story. Um, and so I started hunting for books. I started speaking to family members. I went back to the village to, to see if the stories still existed. Because I think it's very important that we preserve that tradition.
Yeah. Okay. So we're live on the Melvin Metzger show. We aspire to inspire the next generation. We've got Alim Kamara, who's an award-winning African storyteller and hip-hop artist based in the UK. Alim, you founded the Story in 2016, a UK-based
Mhm.
organization that travels globally with
Yes.
education and corporate institutions to inspire through engaging story workshop. What was the purpose when you first started of Story?
So, first of all, it is story, because that's how we say it in Salon. We don't say story. Story is English. Ooh, they
Oh,
say
it's
story.
story.
Now,
Story.
story. That's how we
Story.
dey pronounce them. Um, so my organization actually had a different name before Story,
Yeah.
and the reason why is that I used to call myself, like when I was going into schools, I would call myself a motivational speaker. Again, this is where you begin to look at identity. I was saying to myself, who is going to want to book a a storyteller? This was the story that I was telling myself in my head, and I got booked as a storyteller to travel to Argentina. And I remember I must have done about, I think it was like 17 schools, over 50 workshops as a storyteller. And I was like, wow, I am being embraced as a thing that I love to do. Can you still hear me? Can can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can hear me? Yeah? Show me two thumbs if you can, because I can't hear you.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so where was I? Where was I? Where was I?
Argentina.
Yeah, so when I went to Argentina and I saw that I was being embraced as a storyteller,
Okay.
it showed me that it's very important to accept yourself for who you are and what you want to be.
Yeah.
And until you do it, nobody's going to do it.
Hmm.
And so, me accepting myself as a storyteller, I literally said, right, everything I'm going to do now is going to represent where I come from, who I am. I'm going to stand in my purpose with confidence.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, my brother, the way it has been embraced. Like people don't understand. Like when you decide to be
No.
yourself, uh, when you accept you, it's like
Yes.
a
Yeah.
door opens, It's like the universe says, welcome my son, welcome my daughter. Finally, we have been waiting for you.
But then it takes
And
some people, it takes them a while to discover themselves, isn't it?
oh, big time. And
Yeah.
I think I'm still discovering. So it's an ongoing journey.
Yeah.
And how that journey works is you learn more about yourself, you develop your skills, you work on your talent to just keep giving the world the
Yeah.
best that you can give.
Because you get a lot of people that come to this country and it takes them a while. They've got to do other things before they get to what they actually needed to do. So what's the feeling like you doing what you actually love? What's that feeling?
I did a show about 2 weeks ago, a Black History Month event.
Yeah.
And before I went on, there were like speeches happening. And then when I came on, I did a story and it was really animated. And I remember seeing this young boy,
Yeah.
like just the biggest smile on his face throughout the story. And then afterwards, I was packing up and going, and I was about to leave, and his mum picked him up, came to me, and said, "Can my son have a picture with you?" His name was Noah.
Yeah.
And she said, "My son loved what you've done, and he wants to be like you when he grows up."
Wow.
Because I performed, and then I showed images of the places that I'd been to. I showed my journey. And this is why it's so important for us to share more positive imagery for our young people. And for me, that feeling there
Yeah.
is all I need. That to be able to connect and inspire other people, that payment, no money, no day we will cover that day. Money,
That's
no day
true,
we
though.
will cover that
That's
feeling
true.
day. You know.
That's true. So you go around the world inspiring people. That's what the show is all about. The Melvin Metzger Show. We aspire to inspire. And today we've got a guy here who's inspiring lots, thousands, hundreds and thousands of people. Has it been successful so far for you?
Yeah, I think, well, it depends what people describe as success.
I mean, you enjoy
You
what
know,
you're doing.
I love what I do, brother.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. To be able to know that I get the opportunity to
Yes.
work on the next story, the next workshop, the
Yes.
next song, and be able to share that with people.
Yeah.
For me, it's a love which continues to stay constant.
Okay. You mentioned Black History Month earlier. What does Black History Month means to you as an artist of color?
Black History Month for me is world history.
Yeah.
I hope that we get to a time when we don't have to have Black History Month.
Okay.
Black history is because what we use the month as the spark, and what we're supposed to do is keep that flame going. But sadly, what happens is the flame is lit, and then as soon as the end of October comes,
Yes.
people again
There's no
close the gate.
continuation. Yeah.
Right. Where so for me, Black History Month is a time for me to share my culture. It's an opportunity for me to share how we used to share our culture and tradition, the oral culture, the oral tradition. It's a way of preserving our history, and I believe also inspiring greatness and reminding us of who we are and where we come from.
Yeah. That's great. When you do your production, you do music and you do storytelling, which one takes more preference?
I get this question all the time.
Yeah.
It's something which I used to battle with before,
Yeah.
because I used to think that they were separate.
Yeah.
But it's just, for now, how I see it, they are just different formats
Okay.
that I use in order to get the message across.
Okay.
So if I go to a particular audience and it's a live band, for example, it's hip hop time. It's time for me to, get moving with the music. If I'm in a school and it's nursery children, my lyrical ability may be a bit too advanced for them.
Yeah.
So that's when the big child in me comes out to tell the stories, the ancient tradition. So yeah.
Storytelling is part of African folklore. It's a big part of African folklore. So
Right.
you seem to be, you're on a mission to bring the past into the present. Am I right? Because
Yeah,
lots
I
of kids
think
these
it's
days don't know about these stories. They don't teach them these stories. They don't sit around and have an adult tell them these stories like my aunt used to do.
right. So the when because there's a science behind storytelling, right?
Yes.
So when we used to sit down and tell stories, there is something called neural coupling. In that, if I start to tell the story, the way that I'm feeling and how you feel, it's been scientifically proven that our waves, the neurons in our brain, when they look at the waves, they basically align. Storytelling, when I'm telling it, you get to create the imagery in your head. So
Okay.
more nerves are being fired up in your brain.
Yeah.
The lessons that are taught from the stories also allow you to develop your level of creativity.
Yeah.
Now, another thing with storytelling, it builds empathy. Storytelling builds community because it brings us together. So when you're looking at storytelling, it's like there's a science to it that we practice and didn't realize at the time that we were practicing. It was just something that was natural to us, but then you realize that, oh, if you hear about, say for example, then tell you say, bra Anansi, bra spider,
Yeah.
it don't misbehave, it don't upset bra snake.
Yes.
So bra snake is now looking for Anansi
Yeah.
in the bush. So if you go to the bush and snake thinks that you're Anansi, yeah, snake will bite you.
You bite you. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that will make you in your head go,
Hmm?
maybe I shouldn't go to the bush.
Yeah.
Whereas with just direct telling, no go to the bush, oh, and I don't tell you, don't go to the bush. You're more likely
To go to the
to
bush.
defy to go to the
Yes.
bush. But through the stories, the imagery has been painted in your head, and it tends to live there longer. It
Yeah.
tends to develop there, it tends to grow.
Yeah.
And so with storytelling, you get to place imagery in motion
Yes.
that helps you to learn lessons and even and morals as well.
That's great. Well, we're halfway through the interview hour. Could you please drop a story or two for us? Have you got an instrument with you there? Can you drop a story or two for us?
Of course, of course. But brother, when I say story, I need you to say story.
Story.
Because wait, I don't say I hate. I don't say I hate.
I'm eager.
So what used to happen is when we were children,
Yeah.
we would be there talking away, talking. And when the storyteller said story, that was a way of grabbing our attention.
Okay.
That was a way of saying, are you ready for the story or are you ready for the story? And so when you say story, you are picking out of the two. Story.
Story.
Uh-huh.
Sorry about my voice,
Brother.
viewers, but I'm getting there.
Brother
Yes.
Melvin, did you know that truth and lie are twins?
Yes.
You knew? Ah, beautiful. Well, truth and lie, for those of you who do not know, are twins. And one day, they decided to have a race. And as they stood there, lie said, wait. Let's take off our clothes. Truth said, what? Lie said, yes, let's take off our clothes. If we're going to race and race properly, we need to take off our clothes. And so, lie took off the clothes, put them down on the ground. Truth took off the clothes and put them down on the ground. Well, on your marks, get set. Balai! All of a sudden, they were off. They were gone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All of a sudden they were off. They were gone. They were gone. Well, hold on. Actually, it was just truth. That's right. Truth was not looking left. Truth did not look right. Truth was just going. Truth was just going. And as truth was going, lie stayed back and didn't move. All of a sudden, lie looked down at the clothes of truth and decided to take the clothes of truth and put them on, and off lie went to the village wearing the clothes of truth. Well, truth came back swimming, got out of the water, and truth looked left, looked right. Lie was gone. And there truth stood naked. Well, all of a sudden, truth now looked and saw the clothes of lie. And truth being truth, truth is not going to take the clothes of lie because it doesn't belong to truth. And so truth decided to go to the village and look for lie. Well, when truth got to the village, oh my goodness me, people covered their faces. Hey, put some clothes on, put some clothes on. I mean, who wanted to see the naked truth? And truth tried to tell them, it's me, I am truth. And they said, you are lie. We saw truth. Truth came past a few minutes ago. You are not truth. You are lying. And truth went around knocking on people's doors, but nobody wanted the naked truth. And so truth was left outside in the cold. And it started to rain, and truth was shivering, truth was shaking, when all of a sudden, Parable came. And Parable felt sorry for truth. And Parable decided to take truth home. And Parable fed truth, made sure that truth was warm. And then Parable went next door, came back with a piece of cloth, and this cloth was the cloth of story. And Parable put that cloth around truth and sent truth back out into the world. Truth, now dressed as story, knocked on those same people's doors and was welcomed in. And they sat down and they shared into the night next to the fire. Story.
Whoa. What a great story. What a great story. We were trying to play your songs earlier, but Facebook has put a stop on it. I think you have permission to those songs, the ones we were playing earlier.
Is that me you're talking to?
Yeah. So if you could tell Facebook that you're one of the songwriters, that's why they've put a block on those songs we were playing earlier.
Okay.
The copyright, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is.
Let me see what I can do.
Okay, so my engineers have sent an email that we interviewing the original person who wrote the song. So hopefully they will unblock it. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Right, so we are live on the Melvin Metzger show with Alim Kamara, our African winning storyteller and hip hop artist based in the UK. Right, Alim, you've done some collaborations in your time, and could you tell us about those collaborations?
In terms of collaborations, I've worked with people like Silverstone, worked with Delirious. I've performed on the same stage as Beyonce in the past. Yeah, man.
Was Jay-Z there? Was Jay-Z there?
Jay-Z wasn't there. This was early days. This is
Destiny's Child.
Just after Destiny's Child. But yeah. What else? Who else is there? Yeah, I work with like artists like Sierra Leonean artists like K-Child. Saidi Kanda, who's an amazing instrumentalist and storyteller and singer. Obviously, I work with my dear brother, Yusufu Jallo,
Yusuf
the
Jallo, yeah.
Calfoot Prince. Yes, we've traveled around together, telling stories and performing, working together. It's been quite an honor and a pleasure to be able to share the stage and the platform and the studio with such greats.
Okay, tell us about the songs Get Lost and Not to Play Play. Could you tell us about those two songs?
So let's get lost. That's the one you're talking about.
Yes, yes.
Let's Get Lost is a track featuring an artist by the name of Charlene Hector, and it's a love song. You know,
Yeah.
it's a love song. It's a sweet, sweet, sweet love melody that people should go and check out. And it's just about, you know, I'm writing a letter to or lyrics to a lady and letting her know how I feel about her. So please, when you get a moment, go to iTunes and check that out.
Yeah.
And then No to Play Play is a song which I was actually dared to write. It was the first track I wrote in Creole.
Yeah.
And my manager at the time, he said to me, why don't you write a song in Creole? I said, brother, they will laugh me Creole. Me Creole no better. You know, me Creole no sharp.
Yeah, man.
And he said, well, just give it a go. And if you do it, I'll get you a whole box of herbal tea. I know you love herbal tea, like a box of 24 of herbal tea.
Yeah.
And so No to Play Play was born out of writing,
Yeah.
out of what's it called? Out of being dead, but also for herbal tea as well. And the two tracks, the No to Play Play went #1 in Nigeria.
Nigeria. Yeah.
And Nigeria, yeah. And Let's Get Lost went #1 in Sierra Leone. So there's #1 for about 3 weeks.
Wow, that's a great achievement.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
How do you get these ideas? How do these ideas come up to like write your lyrics?
Life, man.
Success,
example,
disappointments.
Man, like for example, like my cousin Sheku Bayo
Yeah.
was killed in police custody in 2015. And I remember, like, I wanted to tell the story, and I watched their lawyer at the time deliver a transcript about what had happened. And so I requested the transcript, and after studying the transcript, I turned it into a song.
Okay.
Because I realized that people receive messages in different ways. You know, some people, then they watch news, some people then they read news, you know, then they read newspaper, some people listen to music. And so I guess it was my way of saying, for those who don't know the story and those who
Yeah.
listen to music, I want to be able to articulate the story as best as I can, and inform people about the tragedy of what happened and what continues to happen. And so it's a lot of it is looking at life around me and piecing things together.
Yeah.
And then also I listen to a lot of other artists as well. I think that's very important that if this is your art form, that you study the greats. You remain a student of the game.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what I do.
It's your storytelling is not limited to Africa. It goes beyond.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How do you try and create a connection with other countries outside Africa?
For me, a story is a story. And what makes me a storyteller is that I'm able to take that message and transport it to the listener in an African style. And that's what makes me an African storyteller. So and they say that the story chooses the storyteller.
Yes.
So somebody could look at the same story and say, I don't know if I want to tell this story. And I could look at the story and go, whoa, this is a story that I need to tell.
Yeah.
And so it's like that story has chosen me and said, right, now you to tell me. And that's what I do, bro.
Right. I love your lyrics as well. There's one that says, I miss playing Boskidi, where the sun's litty. Can you explain that, please?
I miss playing Boskidi where the sun's litty. Yes. So like when we were little, you know, like we didn't have consoles, we didn't have games,
Yeah.
and so you had to invent things around you, whether it was the long metal pole with the inside of a tire running down, or getting loads of hangers, bending them, and
Yeah.
making cars and things like that. But Skiddy was like one of the games that we used to play as children.
Yeah.
And I just remember just the sound of children playing and laughter, and yet the sun. So the sun liddy. When I say the sun liddy, it's like a colloquial term. It's a street slang for the sun liddy. Is like the sun was bright. So I,
Yeah.
I miss that childhood feeling of of playing games under the sunshine of saloon.
Yes. You've managed to incorporate both of them very well, both sides of the Atlantic, Sierra Leone and the United Kingdom. These two countries, which one most serves your purpose in terms of your career?
Both.
Both. That's good.
Yeah, it's like for me, I was to turn around and say, I'm British,
Yeah.
and leave out the fact of the language that I speak, the food that I eat, where my ancestors are from, doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Yet at the same time, this is where I've spent most of my life, in the UK.
Okay.
So I think it's an embracing of both cultures for
Yeah.
me, and then at the same time, sometimes we are on our own island, because when you go home, they say, this is not JC.
Yes.
But then when you're here, sometimes they say, go back home. So sometimes we find ourselves on our own island and creating our own identity. So for
Yes.
me, it's like, if you see from the way I dress, the way I talk, the language that I use, it's a definition of a British Sierra Leonean.
Well done. You keep flying the flag for us. Thank you very much.
Most
Tell us about
welcome.
EcoFest. Are you going to be involved in EcoFest?
No, I'm not doing EcoFest.
Okay.
I'm booked to do the Kiss Daniel
Kiss Daniel.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
So
gonna
you're
be
looking forward to
this-
it?
Yeah, definitely. That's National Stadium,
Yeah.
December the 4th in Salon. So we dip and fend with tickets money right now for Logo Salon.
What's the feeling like when you get a call like that saying you're going to be on the same stage with Kiss Daniel?
It's a beautiful feeling, because I just love performing, brother.
Okay.
And the more audience, the greater the audience size. I think I've performed in rooms where it's 5 people, and it's, for me, it's like give whether you're in a room of 5 people or you're in a space of 40,000 people,
Yeah.
perform like it's your last performance. I a good day for go perform for me people there.
Yes.
That's
good.
what is that's the most important thing for me, that I've been
Wow.
allowed to be on a platform, which is, it's an honor to be able to do that. And I just look forward to witnessing the other artists and seeing their talent and what's going on in Salon as well.
Wow. And enjoy the vibes as well.
Yeah, man.
Right. Now,
Definitely.
let's talk about your mom. How instrumental has she been in your career?
In the beginning, my mom used to say, "Oh, tell you just to make this boom 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 music." I tell you go study. I don't. The funny thing is, like, I don't think my mom didn't realize I guess she'd seen me, like, say at a school play and stuff. This not he like music. He just like music no more. And then she came to some community events, and I'd been doing a lot of community work.
Okay.
And then when people saw her, and I've got a song called Mama, and people saw, they said, "Alim is your son? you must be so proud. And she was like, yeah. Because in her head, she's thinking, yeah, but you know, watch the plates the way he left before he left the house.
You know, do your homework. He hasn't done his homework yet.
Yeah. So, but she's been my biggest supporter. If she can be at a show, she is there. She's at the front stage. I recently just did a performance for Mada Bio and Fatima Bio, First Lady. And this was about a week and a half ago in the UK. And my mom was there front in the front. Man, I finished performing a track called Mama.
Excuse me.
My mom came up on the stage.
Wow.
And started dancing with me. I said, hey God.
Oh, That's good. That's a great support, man.
You know, but yeah, man, big time.
Do you have other family members involved in your career?
Yeah, my brother, he's an actor and an artist as well.
Okay.
And also, oh my gosh, I have a huge. One of my cousins actually is Nene Cherry.
Really?
A lot of people don't know that. Yeah,
Wow.
man, a lot of people don't know Nene Cherry is from Sierra Leone.
Yes.
Her dad is Sierra Leonean. So now we people there.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said as well, Delirious, he's also my cousin. He's a producer that I work with very closely. So yeah, man, we do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I've mentioned some other names to you earlier on before we started. You guys are a talented bunch. I remember Nene Cherry came out with Buffalo Child in the 80s, late 80s.
Oh man, yes.
Something like Buffalo Stance or something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. We're live on the Melvin Metzger show with Alim Kamara, the man who's brought the ancient tradition into the modern times. Right. We're going to talk about your philanthropy. You are a philanthropist, and you have a philanthropic body, or should I say charity, as we commonly call it. Could you tell us a bit about your charity organization?
Yes, so it's called AMAZE Scholars.
Yeah.
And the idea behind AMAZE Scholars is simply to support young people in education back home in Sierra Leone.
Okay.
And how it started was me looking out and saying, right, why are we not doing charity work to help in the village of where we're from, etc. And I kept on asking, and there's really something that's very funny about when you ask a question, which is that when something is niggling at you, it often means that you are part of the solution.
Okay.
And so now it was time for me to stop asking, what is somebody else going to do, and look in the mirror and say, no, what are you going to do?
You're gonna do, yeah, sure.
You know, and simply what we did was we did a couple of bike rides, London to Brighton. We gathered clothes, got money, and we shipped barrels. We took stuff and went to the village that my grandfather is from in the North Province of Binti. And we distributed out the clothes. We distributed books, pencils. First time we did it was for about 600 children.
600?
600 children, yeah. And that was from the first one. Now what's also interesting is that I say to people, look, when it comes to charity work, if you don't know who to give your money to, then next time you go to Sierra Leone, find a school, find the children, and support them yourself. Like, you don't even have to support my charity. You go fend your own blessing.
Sure.
But as long as each of us are doing a small
Little
bit
to help.
here and there, and so many of us go to Sierra Leone, from the diaspora, America, London,
Canada.
Like when we go over there, Canada, when we go over, let's just take out a little bit of time. School not go there far from we. But even if you take like £30, that can help with pens and pencils and books. And you might think it's nothing, but to people over there back home, it's a big thing. So I say to people, look, if you don't know and you don't trust charities anymore, then you go do for self. You go do for support how you can.
Okay. Like you said, that's what you're doing to help. But you travel the world. You meet kids
Yes, sir.
from other countries more fortunate than, no disrespecting, than the ones in Sierra Leone. What do you think needs to be done?
What do I think needs to be done?
Yeah, from a humanitarian point of view.
This is a
Is
big
it a lot?
question, Baba. Do you know what it is? It's education.
Because there's a lot of charities, but it seems the demands seem to be growing, you know.
There are countries
Yeah.
that have been able to make changes,
Okay.
right? What we first of all need to do is study the countries and the areas that have tried things out that have worked,
Okay.
and simply follow what they've done with the little that they had.
Okay.
Then we need to start looking at the re-education of the adults and the children. Now, for the adults, it's going to be a bit more challenging because many of the adults will be set in their ways. But the next generation coming up, what kind of education are we giving them? Like, for example, and there are little things. Like, I'll give one example. And this is a far example, but like lawyers, for example, when they graduate,
Yes.
when you become a lawyer, in certain countries, they still wear the Wetman wig.
Yes.
And you say to yourself, you are telling me we went through all that line of education to get to the finish line, and we go and put on the wig of the blondness. The blonde wig. Why are you wearing, black man? Why are you wearing a blonde wig on your head? Please tell me. So then we say to our children, do better, be better. It's like, but you are copying what some might call the ones who colonized you. So what example are we setting for those coming behind us? What are the example that we're setting for the young ones? So I think first of all, we the adults, we need to check ourselves, do better, and look at the education system and how we're educating young people. And for me as a storyteller, let's bring storytelling back into education.
Wow, that's great. The West appreciates our culture so much, but we seem to be trying to follow their pattern. And they're really looking forward to seeing our culture, seeing what we do. Don't you think that's right? We're trying to copy them, but they're appreciating our culture. But we're running away from our culture and copying their ways.
Because we've been taught to run away from our culture.
Okay.
You see, when we came over here, everything on TV was white and bright and better, right? That's how it seemed. Everything was white. The angels, Muhammad Ali talks about this. The angels are white. You have a, what's it called? What example can I give? You look at the models that were on TV. They're slim, white, blonde with blue eyes.
Blue eyes. Yeah.
So all of a sudden, we have what's known as a subconscious, and if you keep on seeing that image enough times, like brother, if you get a moment, go and look at the experiments that has been done over and over again, and it's called black doll, white doll, the black doll, white doll, and they put black dolls and white dolls in front of children, and they ask them which one was the bad doll, and each and every single time the black children and the white children would point to the brown or the black doll, and say that was bad. That only comes from something you've been taught.
Okay.
So we are constantly bombarded with images that tells us that other people's cultures are better than ours. and that we are backward. We're not backward. No, we're not backward. We're not. We just do things differently. If you speak to somebody who's wealthy,
Yeah.
they will tell you, I plan to retire, go and live in a quiet place, maybe have a farm. They want to go back to what we have. So we're not backward. It's just that we are still preserving the beauty of our land. And so now, guess what? People want that we have, because it's closer to the origins of man.
Exactly.
You know, so I think
Wow.
it's for us, and also I hope you, I feel like we've gone from talking about entertainment to lecturing now. But one
Yeah.
of the things I say to parents is this: stop saying to the children, look where you fool, hey you stupid, hey you
Yes.
not get 1 cent.
Yes.
The language that we use, that we pass on to our children, that we
Yeah.
pass on to the next generation. Brother, oh, sometimes
Wow.
it's painful to hear.
I know.
It's painful to hear. So, and that's why when you ask the question, I'm like, whoa, this is a loaded question.
It's a loaded one.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a loaded
Well, you did
question.
well.
But thank you.
You did well. What's the current state of Sierra Leone music at the moment? You're a musician. What do you think is the current state of it? Is it still in transition? Are we progressing? Are we there yet?
It's transitioning,
Okay.
but needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
We have incredible talent in Sierra Leone, and I believe that if we have the right investors,
Yeah.
the right guidance, and the right education, we will be able to cross borders.
Okay.
You know, I think that I see the way artists work. I see the way they put content out, and I think if they had the right guidance,
Yeah.
with their music, the mixing and the mastering, etc.
So
the
basically,
extra
what you're saying,
sounds.
the talent is there.
Oh, the talent is
Okay,
incredible.
great.
The talent is incredible, you know.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, that's good. Let's go back to story.
Story.
What's next up for story? What's next apart from December? You said you're going to be performing with Kiss Daniels. What's up? What's next? What are your next dates?
So story is about me coming back and going into the lab.
Yeah.
People are now asking for me to release more material, so
Yeah.
I need to get back into what I call the back cave and start putting pen to paper.
Okay.
Get back to practicing on my on my what's it called, on my yunga.
Yes. Could you do another tune for us with your Yunga?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well done.
Thank you.
Mr. Alim Kamara,
Yes, sir.
have you got any last words for your viewers, for your fans out there?
Yeah. I think I would definitely say you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started in order to be great.
Wow.
So let's just continue to keep going. Let's continue to support each other. And if I could share one last story,
Yes.
it's a very short story. Story. A man comes home and he's standing outside and he sees his neighbor. His neighbor's on the floor looking for something. And he says to his neighbor, "What's up?" And the neighbor says, "I've lost my keys." The man says, I'll help you look for them. And they get on the floor and they start looking for these keys. After about 10 minutes, no keys.
Wow.
The man gets up and says, we've been looking for these keys for about 10 minutes. Where did you lose these keys? And the man says, I lost them in the house. The man says, what? He says, I lost the key in the house. He said, if you lost the key in the house, why are you looking out here? And the man says, that's because there's more light out here. So in other words, where were the keys? They were inside the house. Where was the man looking? Outside, because he believed that there was more light.
Yes.
Your greatness, your happiness comes from within. The key to your success is within. It is not out there. It comes from within. So people, remember, even if you have to go inside and it's a dark place, go in there, face whatever you have to face. Open the keys. Turn the keys, open the door, and go and get what you need to get. Thank you very much.
That's powerful. Can you repeat that for us again? You say you don't have to be great to be...
You don't have to be great to get started.
But you have to get
started in order to be great.
In order to be great. Excellent. Mr. Alim Kamara, I hope we've inspired your viewers today, your fans all over the world. And I would like to personally thank you for coming on my show. We had a slight problem earlier on, but thank you. And I wish you all the best in your future projects or endeavors. It's been great having you on the Melvin Metzger show. Thank you very much.
Please, brother, could I ask people to just follow me on social media?
Yes.
At Alim Kamara. Facebook, Instagram at Alim Kamara. I'm everywhere. Thank you.
Please follow my guest on Facebook at Alim Kamara and Instagram at Alim Kamara as well. Thank you very much. To my viewers, it's been another pleasant evening. I hope to see you again next week on a Wednesday, next time.